All right, guys, welcome back to the Real Talk podcast. Today I have a very special guest. She has been on Twitch for the last 2 years. She's killing the game with Monster Hunter and destroying everybody's sanity with that new Phasmophobia. I saw that gameplay. I saw that gameplay. How are you doing, Fruitcake?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good, good. It's a pleasure to be having you here today.
Same,
And
likewise.
yeah, no, thank you for making the time of coming on here. Been checking out the streams. The FAS stream was definitely a huge highlight. I loved it.
Which one? There's just screaming all the time on that one.
I think it was the one that was like 2 or 3 days ago. The most recent.
Oh, yeah, I was cosplaying on that one
Yeah,
too.
yeah, yeah. You were. Yeah, you were. No, it was really cool.
Yeah.
It's a fun
I,
game.
I I love that game. I love horror, so when they introduced Phasmo and it's a horror multiplayer, I hopped onto it.
Yeah, completely. Yeah, same here. Same here. I was actually watching a probably B-rated horror movie before I got on here. I forgot even what the name of it was, but there's so many bad horror movies now.
Oh yeah, I mean, just go through Netflix. That's usually what I do. If I want to watch a horror movie, good or bad, I'll just go through Netflix's horror section.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I was doing all day today while I've been working because I'm like, I don't know, I love watching horror movies. Though even the really bad ones, the bad ones are so interesting to me.
They are. They are. There's some pretty interesting ones, but yeah, there's been some pretty good ones. I know I've been watching a couple of TV shows that are pretty good as well.
Okay, okay, that's a good question to start off with. What are you currently watching?
I'm watching Blind Manor and I just recently finished Ratched. Both are really, really good. Ratched is not really horror, more of like um say maybe real, but there's a lot of like twists and turns. I highly recommend Ratched, and then Blind Manor is really really good. It's the, I guess the not the sequel because it's not a continuation of the story, but it was, I guess, a sequel to Hill House. So yeah,
Yeah,
both
yeah,
really.
no. Talking about Blind Manor, have you finished?
No, I have
Okay,
not.
okay, so
I'm
no
kind of,
spoilers.
yeah, no spoilers,
But
but
it's
I
amazing.
love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What episode are you on?
I think I'm on episode 3, so I'm kind of waiting on my friend and my husband so that we can all watch it together because we all watched Hill House together.
Yeah,
So
yeah, no, you guys definitely got to finish it up. No spoilers, of course, but it is a very, very good story.
yeah,
Very, very good. Not very scary. A lot of people don't understand that this time around, the book wasn't really based on scares. It was really a very, very passionate story, and I think you guys will love it. So
yeah.
glad you're enjoying it so far, though. Okay, I gotta check out the other one that you mentioned. I've heard some things about Ratchet, but I haven't really been able to sit down and watch a TV show because I'm sure this is something I always ask. How do you find the time to do other hobbies besides Twitch right now?
Oh gosh. I don't
Yeah, it's
really.
hard, right?
Yeah, because I mean, I guess it's easier now because of the pandemic. I'm like at home all the time, but I'm usually at home anyways, because I stream. But with the whole cosplay thing, now that there's no conventions, I'm not traveling as much anymore. So I have been doing a lot of photo shoots outside of like cosplay stuff. But yeah, I mean, before it was pretty hard to find like TV shows or like anime to watch. So I don't really watch too many TV shows or anime. Now I just play a lot of video games. It's just easier. I'm more of a video game person.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, cool, cool. Yeah, I'm pretty much in the same boat, unless it's horror movies, because and I will always watch a horror movie. But when it comes down to watching like a TV show, to me, I'm sure you'll agree, it's just I rather play a game, right? I rather just
Yeah.
play through a story than just sit there for
Yeah.
hours. Kind of just being on my phone, going on Facebook, and doing all that stuff. It gets a little boring, huh?
Yeah, I get a little bit distracted too because if there's a TV show going on, I'm usually doing something else, so it's kind of like, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Of course,
It's
of
more a
course.
background noise.
Yeah, yeah. So you did mention cosplaying. So we talked a bit about it before we hopped on. So what was the reason for it? Like, what was the passion for cosplay?
Oh man. So when I was 15, which was back in 2005, um, I just I went to my first anime convention, and my friends had introduced me to like anime and stuff like that. I've always been into video games as a kid, but I didn't really know much about the anime other than like Dragon Ball Z and like Pokemon and like Sailor Moon and stuff, you know. Um, so they took me to my first anime convention, and at the con I saw a bunch of people like dressed up, and it looked so cool. It looked so much fun. And a lot of people were dressed up as like their favorite characters. So I decided I wanted to do the same thing. And so the next time I went to that con, I dressed up as Kyrie from Kingdom Hearts.
No way.
And yeah,
Ooh.
it was she's like so like Kingdom Hearts is like a huge like impact for me or influence for me because it was my first like introduction to like cosplay. It was my first cosplay, and yeah, so that's pretty much how it got started. I stuck with it. It was something I really enjoyed doing, and I'm also a very creative person, so it was a good way of channeling my creativity into making something like a costume. And cosplay has so much stuff into it because it's not just making the costume, or even if you buy the costume, it's not just putting on the costume, it's putting on the makeup, sometimes acting like the character, wig styling, and all that stuff. There's a lot that goes into it, and I really enjoyed that aspect of cosplay because there's always something new to learn. So yeah.
Yeah, no, dude, that is so cool. I've this is funny. I've always wanted to try it out, right?
Hmm.
But every time I tried, you gals and all the guys who do it as well, right, have such a
Hmm.
talent making those costumes. I've tried so many times doing Goodwill runs, and I think the best cosplay I've ever been able to do, which my friends still make fun of me for it, was Yusuke Urameshi from Yu Yu Hakusho.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I freaking love Yu Yu Hakusho. That's my favorite anime.
Me too. He's one of my favorite characters of all time. So I want to try it out. Tried my best, but that was probably one of my only attempts at it. So a huge respect to you and everybody else who cosplays. And a lot of people don't see all the passion that you guys put into it. And it really does show with your streams and everything that you've been putting out.
Thank you. I mean, it's one of those like cosplay is one of those things where for me especially like I had to start somewhere. I taught myself how to sew. My first actually my Kyrie cosplay when I made it there was no sewing. I used this like heat bond stuff that you iron on, and that cosplay ended up falling apart the next day when my mom ended up washing it. So
Oh,
it's just one of those things where that's what's so cool about cosplay. You learn so much just by doing it and making the mistakes, and then just like continuously like practicing and stuff. And it's even easier now because when I first started there wasn't any like Warbler, there wasn't EVA foam, we had to paper mache everything. So there's a lot easier materials, there's tutorials all over YouTube, and there's a ton of different forums for learning how to make something and how to cosplay something. So I highly recommend, diving back into it because it's a super fun hobby. And it's always fun dressing up and acting like your favorite character and stuff.
yeah, it is. It is. I did have a good time when I did it for sure. I think it's more of I've always been kind of I guess a little embarrassed, but after doing YouTube, I just don't feel embarrassed about anything anymore. I'm pretty. It kind of opens your mind to things. So yeah, I'm definitely down. I actually haven't done a face reveal, so that would be pretty cool if I did like I
Oh,
come out. I'm like, all right, guys, here's my Sora cosplay,
that would
something
be
like
so
that.
awesome. That would be so awesome. And that's the thing with like with anything, like especially gaining confidence. Like that's why they call it gaining confidence. You're not born with just all the confidence in the world, like it's definitely something that you have to gain throughout, your journey if you ever start anything, whether it's cosplay or streaming or anything like that. When I first started cosplaying, I was really nervous. I was a shy kid, super shy kid,
Yep.
didn't really like talking to people. And then so to have people come up to me and be like, "Can I take a picture?" I was, like, so scared because 'cause I'm like, like,
Aw, that's
but
awesome.
it's just one of those things you learn along the way, and you gain the confidence as you progress and level up your skill when it comes to whatever it is you're doing.
No, you are completely right because the day I made my first video, I was, scared out of my mind. I was like, I stuttered a lot. I fell over my words quite a bit. And I was like, oh, everybody's going to hate me. Everybody's going to hate me. But the beauty of YouTube and Twitch, right, it's not many people are going to see that first video. Not many, I don't care if people want to go ahead and watch it. It's fine, but it's crazy that, when you first start, YouTube and Twitch work so wonderfully with new people because it gives you so much time to progress. Like you mentioned, you build that confidence skill in you, and you know when you started 2 years ago, I'm sure today you feel way better than when you first started, right?
Yeah, and even now, like when I do like interviews and even podcasts too, like even now I get nervous, but it's one of those things where once the ball starts rolling, you kind of that those nerves kind of go away and stuff. I mean, it's still like a lot of people who are in like the industry that have to talk in front of a lot of people, they still get nervous, but it's just you learn how to control that and you learn how to kind of just like let that go as whatever it is you're doing starts, rolling. So,
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. Even, I keep up with like a lot of like the bigger YouTubers as well, like David Dobrik, those guys. I can imagine he still gets nervous. You know?
yeah, yeah, people are and nervous in front of everything. It's just learning to control it is the thing.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. And like you mentioned, once you press record, I don't know what it is, but something just kind of comes over you that you just feel like, okay, I'm good now.
Yeah.
You feel a lot.
That's-
You feel a lot. It's a lot easier to start going off that. And no, thank you for sharing all that. That it's always great information for everybody who's starting out. Or so there's so many people that are typically on the fence that want to do stuff. If it's cosplay, gaming, public speaking, and I think it's always a good thing to let creators, let them, that hey, we all started from zero. We all know what it's like. Just go ahead and try it, right? Well, what you know,
yeah.
it doesn't
Like
hurt to
my
try.
Yeah, it doesn't. And like my biggest advice for anyone who wants to take something like a hobby and turn it into a profession, always have like a passion for it. Start with the passion for it because when you turn your hobby into like a career or a profession, it's definitely going to get harder and to not get that burnout later on, it's better to have that passion to carry you through like the hard times. So as long as you enjoy what you're doing and you're going at your own pace, like I think that's like the best way to tackle that.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's true. It's true. No, thank you for sharing all this. It's wonderful advice. But now trying to get to know you a bit better. So one thing
Mm.
I always ask everybody that comes onto the podcast, it's what music are you currently listening to, or your favorite music genre in general?
Oh gosh, oh man, if you, it's just one. My stream knows this too. Like they know how crazy my music tastes are, and it's not like crazy as in like I listen to like crazy things. It's just I listen to everything, whether it's country, rap, R&B, um, retro synth, like it could be anything, rock. Like I just like music in general. Um, and I grew up like doing choir and stuff like that. So I have a huge appreciation for any and all kinds of music. Um, so right now my playlist looks like a trash can of just like randomness. And it's usually like that's how it usually is. Like I make a Spotify playlist and I'm like, okay, it'll be just these songs, and then it ends up like maybe like a week or two later or like a month later ends up just being a whole mashup of just random songs. But I guess right now I've been listening to a lot of like old R&B songs like Neo and Usher and oh gosh, like Alicia Keys and stuff. I don't know, I'm going through this like nostalgic thing now where I'm just
Yeah, I've
like
been there.
listening to like yeah.
I've
I
been
think it's
there.
this pandemic, man. It's this pandemic. Everyone's just like,
You start thinking about the '90s.
yeah,
You're like, damn
the
it.
good times in the 90s. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
But yeah, that's pretty much what I've been listening to. I was in this huge like retro synth phase, which I kind of still am, but like now I'm just like in my nostalgic era now.
Yeah, no, I have that. I have those moments for sure. I've always been more of like a metalhead, actually.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah, yeah. My dad had me raised with like Metallica, Iron Maiden, and all that.
Ooh,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So I never
nice.
really got to start exploring different types of music till my later years, actually. Because growing up, he literally only listened to like rock music. So I've been trying to get more into like the hip hop stuff. I've been listening to a lot of Roots that a good friend of mine introduced to me.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
yeah, and I've listened to a couple of J-pop stuff and K-pop.
Oh yeah, J-pop and K-pop. Yeah, I
Yeah,
have some
it's good.
songs.
It's good. But I definitely got to listen to a lot of the artists that you mentioned because I think the best way that music works, it's just there's so many different ways of telling a story, right? Like rock music, it's a
Mhm.
very passionate. I mean, a lot of people don't know that, but like screamer, like I listen to a lot of hardcore music as well. Like with the screaming, I've actually was a screamer for a couple years. Still kind of do it
Oh,
here and there.
that's hard. There's like I recently, well not recently, I saw a documentary about how different it is to sing that way, and there's like specific vocal coaches for that kind of singing.
Was it Zen of Screaming?
What was that?
Was it called Zen of Screaming?
I don't know. It
Okay,
was
okay,
been a while, but
okay.
yeah,
No,
there's
you're
like
fine.
like there's a different way of singing, and so I applaud that because if you don't do it right, you could really kill your voice. So that's pretty cool that you do that.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's the only reason why I did it, which was I think most screamers will kind of admit to it. I don't have the greatest singing voice.
Mm.
I've always tried. I took vocal lessons. I know how to sing, but it doesn't come out like the way like I would want it to. So I was like, oh, you know what? I have a pretty, I have a pretty good guttural. Let me, try screaming. And yeah, I've been screaming since I was 14, during my scene days.
No.
During my
Oh
scene
man,
days.
didn't we all have one? Didn't
Okay,
we
yes.
all?
Let's talk about scene days. Because everybody I
Oh
bring on
god.
here, I'm like, have you had one? And everybody's like, no. Like, I know who the Devil Wears Prada is. But I'm like, no.
Oh,
Full blown scene.
oh,
It's
man.
been a while.
Gosh, yeah. Throughout middle school and high school, I was trying to find myself.
Yep, I was there.
Yeah, I went through some phases. There was this raving phase that I was into. I was into to J rock, so I was like into like Larkin Seal. I was into Malice Miser, so I was kind of like my friends introduced me to that whole like fashion too. So I was wearing like J rock stuff. Oh man, um, yeah, I don't know. I'm the kind of person that like I like to dabble in a lot of things, especially
Yep,
if they're
yep.
very creative things. And
Oh, it's
fashion is always creative, so like I've always been fascinated with different like fashions and stuff. So,
and you
um,
cannot tell me that scene, right, was not a good fat. It was so colorful. I know like so many
yeah,
people like, oh, they're scene kids. I'm like, dude, there was so much color in those outfits and like the
it was
hairstyles. Like it was cool.
yeah, and it was like it was an expression of how they are individually too. Like, because even though the scene like fashion is kind of similar, everyone kind of put their own personality and taste into that kind of fashion. So it was just yeah, it was awesome to see. It was super colorful. People had their own personalities put into it, and people were just having fun with it, and that's what I think like fashion should be in general. So yeah,
Yep.
we were all just having fun.
Yeah, yeah. I was having a good time. I tried. Okay, so the thing was, like, I had to do a Brazilian treatment a bunch of times because,
Oh gosh.
yeah, my hair's super duper wavy. So, like, even when you
Mhm.
iron it, it just goes back to being wavy. So I had to get like a Brazilian treatment. I think in high school about 3 or 4 times trying,
Um,
and then of course after high school I was like, what can you do? I think that's when I kind of like my metal or scene phase kind of ended, and then became a normie. I think
yeah,
that's what
well, I
happens.
mean, my high school ended up doing this like uniform thing. And so like no one could really like wear whatever they want or like express through clothing anymore. So that was that. I guess that's how like when I started really getting into cosplay because cosplay you could just wear whatever and like put on an outfit and stuff and it could be as crazy as you want it to be. Um, but yeah. Same with me. I stopped doing the whole like scene thing in high school just because my school ended up having this like school
Yep,
uniform.
yep, that's what happened with me. But I played in a lot of bands during high school, so outside of school, I would go more into that phase. But yeah, my high school was pretty strict. You had to wear a boring black polo, khakis.
Oh my god, yes, the
Yeah.
polo. Oh my
Yeah, it was
gosh,
so
yeah.
boring. It wasn't
Those
like that
are
like the year before, but when I started high school, that's when they went crazy. Like, okay, polos, khakis, no jeans. I'm like, man, this
bad. Oh
sucks.
no. Yeah.
So you
That's
saw a bunch of scene kids having to wear, proper
yeah.
clothing, but with like the frizzy hair. They put all their hair products. It
Yeah,
was
or
fun.
like the colorful like clip-ons from like Hot Topic
Oh
and
my
stuff
god,
like that.
everybody was
Ooh,
packed with that. I had a couple
yeah.
buttons on my JanSport.
Oh, it's so funny. Oh, good old days,
Yeah,
man.
those were yeah, exactly. Kind of, the older you get, the more you're like, uh, you kind of miss those days. I mean,
Oh
there,
yeah, for sure. That like I miss school. It's so weird. I miss school though. That's why I tell like people who are going through school, I'm like, dude, enjoy it because you're gonna miss the whole like I miss the whole scheduling and just like being able to see my friends on a daily
oh
basis
my
and
god,
having like
yeah.
after school activities. Because you were saying you were in band. You were a band nerd. I was a choir geek. So like
Yeah, yeah.
we would just be in like the music rooms and like after school like doing that and like I miss those days. Those were super fun.
Yeah, I really miss I think this is a better way of putting it too, and I think we missed the lunchtime periods the most.
Oh,
Those were insanely fun. I had so
it
like
was, yeah.
it was like I can never I don't think I could ever recreate that unless I go to like an anime expo and I call up everybody that I know. Where it's like 50 of you sitting outside hanging out talking about metal, anime, games
Yeah.
every day. Like you mentioned, it was an everyday thing, and so many people are like, oh, I hate school, I hate school. And I understand school's tough, but enjoy those moments because I've been out of high school now for 8 years. I'm 26 now, and it's
Oh.
yeah, it's you get kind of sad sometimes. I talk to my buddies. I still talk to a lot of my high school friends. That's like the cool part. We've always remained friends, and we
It's
all
so
kind of
funny because
agree.
last night I was at dinner with one of my high school friends actually. So
Oh, that's cool. You see what I'm saying? Like it's when you make those friends in high school, you really could call them up whenever you want.
yeah.
It's cool. It is cool. But
Same in college. Same in college. Like a lot of my friends are from college as well.
oh, that's cool. Yeah, I tried college a couple times. I know I said a
Oh,
couple.
it's not for
Yeah,
everybody.
I dropped out 4 times. I couldn't do it. It was just
Yeah. It's
uh
expensive too, and you don't
that
really
was
need
it.
it, honestly.
Yeah, like I've had to go the harder route where I've had to jump from different career job to career job. I've always been able to land pretty decent paying jobs,
Hmm.
but and I mind you, that's 8 years of experience out of high school, working like at customer service, corporate level jobs, stores, a whole bunch of different things, legal even. But a lot of my friends who come straight out of college who get lucky, because not everybody gets lucky. The first job they get pays probably 10 grand more than the one I get. So
Uh,
school definitely gives you a better chance at those jobs, but it's not everything, like you mentioned. Like you could still make it
yeah,
without going to school.
go to school if you want to be like a
Yeah,
doctor
yeah.
or like an architect or a lawyer. Like, go to school for those. Other stuff, you really don't really need to go to
No,
school.
yeah, like right now I'm a fraud investigator. I didn't go to school for that. I just took a course, got a little certificate, and now I'm able to do it from home. So, it's just you don't have to go to college for 4 years to get a decent job. So, no, I'm glad you
Yeah,
understand that because some people, and not taking any power away from them, but it's cool to have, an understanding on both sides, right? School does
Mhm.
help, but I've seen plenty of people not go to school and they become millionaires, right?
yeah. There's a lot of millionaires that didn't go to school at all. So
Yeah, yeah, no, it's crazy. It's crazy.
it's
So,
honestly what you do with your free time and like how much you're willing to like learn because you really have to be if you're not going to go to school you really have to have your own like motivation, you have to be your own like motivator, your own boss, and you really have to just kick yourself in the butt and get into gear and do all that stuff that you need to do if you're not going to do school.
yeah, exactly. And I think one thing that I wish I could have, if there's one thing I could have told myself at 18 before starting my crazy jobs and doing all that was start YouTube now. I wish I could have.
Yeah,
I wish I could have done that in 2012 and just been like, yeah, dude, start YouTube today and just see what happens.
yeah, when it
Because
was first picking up and it was first like
oh my
yeah.
god, dude! Look at all the guys now. They're all. I mean, not a lot of people have fallen off, but the guys who like remained there, look at them now. They're like rich, but it doesn't mean that you can't get rich now off YouTube. I don't think.
Yeah.
I think you'll always be able to. I think the money here is insanely good. You just have to work at it.
Mhm.
So that's a question I want to ask. So you've been on Twitch for a while. Um,
Mhm.
I mean you mentioned to me earlier about like the gaming and stuff like that. What was like the reason for Twitch over YouTube?
Honestly, one, I don't know how to edit videos.
Same, 100%. I
I
don't
can
edit any of my
I
videos.
can't edit. And like Twitch, I just love the community that I built on Twitch because I've made such a very like chill community. There's people that I've met that I can say are gonna be like lifelong friends. Like I've met so many amazing people, and I just love being able to be candid and just like talk with my community. It's almost like I said, I grew up playing video games with a bunch of my friends. Like we would invite all our friends in the neighborhood. We'd bring one person would bring their Xbox, another person would bring their PlayStation. We had our GameCube. We would just play at my parents' house, just video games all day long. And I kind of miss that. So being able to do that on Twitch, that's how it feels like. It feels like I'm playing games with my friends,
Oh
and
yeah.
just chilling with them. And that's why my streams are always so chill. Like we talk about everything and anything.
Oh, that
Um,
is cool.
so yeah, and yeah, the reason why I don't really do YouTube that much is I don't really know how to edit videos. My sister does YouTube. She does YouTube for Nintendo. So
Oh, that's
she
cool.
yeah,
Very
yeah.
cool.
So you definitely talk to her. She used to cosplay with me, but now she is a Nintendo brand ambassador and she does the creative outlets for Nintendo.
Oh my
Uh,
god, that is phenomenal. Holy smokes, that is
yeah,
cool.
I have me and my sisters. We're all just into video games. That's just like our thing. And
And you're all killing it. That's right. I
thank
mean,
you,
that's cool.
thank you.
Oh, that's a good question. So, like, did you guys help like motivate each other on it?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think it helps that we're all a year apart. So we went to high school together, we went to middle school together, we had the same friends, we had the same interests. So yeah, me and my sisters were super, super close. Like the best way to describe us is like the Powerpuff Girls. That used to be our nickname.
Oh my
Uh
god! Why don't you guys do that as a cosplay? That would be that would be cool.
I would
That would be
I'm
so cool.
so down. I'm so down, but my younger sister is like not about it.
Oh, okay, okay. She's
she
embarrassed,
Not that,
shy.
she just doesn't like, I mean, she's done yeah, she's a little bit shy,
Okay, okay.
but, she also doesn't like wearing dresses that much. So,
Fair,
I told
fair.
her I was like, "You could do, like, a punk version of Buttercup or something." I was like, "You
Dude,
could
that
do
would be
that."
so sick.
Right?
You guys do a punk version of all three of them. That would be super
I'm so
dope.
down. Also, now it's, like, super hard because now our schedules are like, we can't meet up our schedules, as easily as we could have when we were younger.
Yeah,
Uh,
it gets hard. It definitely with like time zones and moving away and work and it just becomes insane trying to do stuff.
Yeah, just the older you get, it's harder to just plan things with people just because everyone's just super busy. But yeah, me and my sisters, we grew up on video games, so and we're all really close. So yeah,
That is so
we're like
cool.
three peas in a pod for sure.
Oh, that's cool. So, but you still talk to them every day and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
Cool,
yeah.
cool.
I
That's
mean,
good.
my younger sister, I mean, both of them stream. The other one streams on YouTube because she has that partnership with YouTube. But me and my younger sister, we stream on Twitch, and I'll have her on my streams, and she'll have me on hers and stuff. So
Oh,
it's
that's
super fun.
fun. Oh, that's cool. That's really cool. Yeah, I've always kind of wanted to do that with my stepbrother, but anytime I ask him that, I'm like, hey, you want to play some Minecraft or something? He always tells me no.
Aw.
I'm like, all right, that's because no, he likes to play off. Like we play offline together a lot, but he doesn't. He's kind of like embarrassed or shy about making like videos and stuff like that. And I'm like, come
Yeah.
on, get out of that. Get out here.
It's a lot. I will say, like, when I first started getting into streaming, I didn't quite understand the extent that goes into it. And it's a lot of hard work. Like, in my head, when I first started, I was like, oh, yeah, I just got to play video games. It's going to be easy. But there's so much that goes into it because you have to constantly be interacting with chat. You have to be paying attention to the game as well. But you also have to, like, come up with things to say and be entertaining. And it takes a lot, like,
Yeah, it does.
especially for someone like me who's not really an extrovert. I'm more introverted, I like
Really?
to think of I like to think of myself as like a high functioning introvert
Okay.
because I can't take too much like social stimulus at one time. So that was kind of something I had to learn, especially when I started working in the cosplay industry. I really had to learn how to like interact with people and have a conversation with them, and stuff. And that's just stuff that you learn along the way. But yeah, I mean, streaming has been fun.
Yeah, no, it definitely is something that you have to learn, and it becomes a talent almost. And I had no idea that you're introverted. That's pretty cool to know. For me,
Yeah,
oh, go ahead.
it's funny. Oh, sorry. It's funny. You could ask some of my like older friends. They'll be like, "Yeah, when I first met her, she didn't really talk."
Yeah, I
That's great.
typically, well, I know I love talking. That's like my biggest thing. I love being social. I love talking to people, but a lot of people will probably tell you in the beginning I'm usually kind of not very talkative unless it's like YouTube or something like that. Because I'm always one thing I always kind of stress about, even without outside of YouTube, it's making people feel like comfortable, right? That's always kind of like something I always value. Like when I talk to somebody, I want to make sure that I don't, overstep my boundaries or anything like that. So I'll be pretty quiet the first couple times, unless it's YouTube or like Twitch or something like that, and
Hmm.
then I will just, burst out because I am very social. I love,
That's cool. I
yeah.
wish I was like that a little bit. I'm always like the one. Like it depends who I'm with, but usually at parties, especially at parties that I with people I don't really know that well, I'm very like kept to myself and
Yeah,
just chilling in the corner.
yeah, I have to definitely feel comfortable talking to someone for me to enjoy a party. I'm not much
Mhm.
of a party person. More of a, I like to have my, my couple beers at home and just chill type of. That's definitely my go-to.
Mm.
So, okay. So, we've talked about a lot of games. So, you've been playing Monster Hunter for a while. What other
Mhm.
games are you currently into?
Oh man. I mean, I've been playing Phasmo. I've been playing Among Us here and there, though I'm so bad at that game. I can't lie to
Me
save my
neither. I
life.
can't. I can't. I suck. I give it away
um,
every time.
yeah, I guess just Monster Hunter's been like my main game that I've been playing. I have almost like 2,000 hours on it.
Oh my
So
god.
yeah, it's a lot. Um,
That's impressive.
I play random games. One of the main games I used to stream when I first started streaming was League of Legends, and I sometimes go back to it here and there. I don't rank as much on it anymore, just because ranking is just a whole other like stress.
Yeah, yeah.
um, so yeah, I just stick to Monster Hunter now, and then whatever like random games pop up on Steam or like whatever my sisters want to end up playing, that's what I start playing. But
Cool.
yeah, not really into anything right now. I think I'm just waiting for some newer games to come out because I finished all of the like Resident Evil remakes. I finished Final Fantasy VII remake. Um, yeah, I've just finished. I've been getting a bunch of like games out of the way, so when the new games come out, I'm ready. And I
Good.
don't have
Yeah,
a huge
yeah. You
backlog.
never want to have to worry about the backlog when new stuff comes out.
Yeah.
Okay, but you mentioned Kingdom Hearts earlier. So, did you play Kingdom Hearts 3 at all?
Yes, I did. I did play Kingdom Hearts 3. I actually wore I did a revamp of my first cosplay, which was Kairi, and I wore that on my playthroughs of Kingdom Hearts. So, yeah, it was a pretty good one. I don't know, have you finished it?
Yes, I've actually
Oh,
played through
okay.
it 3 times.
Oh, wow,
Yeah,
okay. Oh my goodness, my playthrough that I did, I ended up crying at the end.
I cried so much during that Keyblade Wars section.
Oh, yes.
I
Oh, man.
I mean, the game's been out forever, guys. I mean, if you don't
Yeah.
want to, if you want to avoid spoilers, skip a bit ahead. But when Roxas came back,
Oh
oh
my
my god,
yes.
I was
When those 3 got
screaming.
reunited when
Oh
the
my
3 got
god,
reunited, I cried like a baby. I
me
was like,
too.
"Oh my gosh."
I'm getting sad. It was so good. When he
It
came
was.
back, I literally just died inside. When I heard his theme song, I was like, "Stop it! They did not just do this. Roxas had like he could be a person now. This is crazy.
Yeah. Oh my god, it was so good. I
I
will say though, like there were some parts of Kingdom Hearts 3 I didn't like. Like the whole Frozen section
I
was
didn't.
like,
I hated Frozen section.
oh, that literally was rock climbing simulator. That's
It was
all that
so
was.
boring. Yeah,
It
Frozen
was.
and Tangled were like the most boring worlds because they're just so empty.
Yeah, and like, ah, man, Frozen. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Frozen.
Me
I
neither.
heard this. I heard the second one is way better than the first one though, so I might have to watch that. But yeah, that Frozen world, it was bad. Like it could have like you could have just taken all that out and it wouldn't have done anything to the
I would.
story.
It sucks that they couldn't get Frozen 2 in there because yeah, Frozen 2 would have been way better. It was so much
Yeah.
better than Frozen 1. I actually
Hmm.
enjoyed Frozen 2 a lot.
Ooh,
Um,
I'll have to watch
yeah,
it.
yeah, no, no. I think you'll definitely like it. It's a bit more dark. It's a bit more sad. It was good. It was good. But yeah, I didn't like everything in Kingdom Hearts 3. I want to say most of the worlds didn't really feel important, right? I mean, there was another.
Yeah, that actually that's a good way of seeing it because there was a lot like in the other games, the worlds like you gain so much from each of the worlds, and in Kingdom Hearts 3, it almost felt like you were just passing through the worlds and not really like gaining anything from them.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how it felt. But I mean, I guess we'll see with the next
And
game.
yeah, I think it's going to be better because I want to say Kingdom Hearts 3 was just kind of like Nomura was trying to figure things out again, trying to get everything set up for 4.
Hmm.
Um, but we'll see. I don't know. I hope he hasn't. I mean, I don't know. It's I want 4 to be amazing, but I can't blame this guy for not being at his A game. I mean, it's been what? It's been almost 20 years since Kingdom Hearts 2 came out.
Right. And by the time Kingdom Hearts 4 comes out, I'll be like 40 or something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, he said next year we're gonna get the announcement for when it's gonna come out because it's like the big anniversary.
Yeah.
But who knows? I
Okay.
don't know. I don't know. I hope. Talking about Square Enix, have you played Near Automata?
No, and it's so funny you say that because one of my viewers actually gifted me the game and I have yet to even touch it.
Oh my
It's
god,
so bad.
you have to play it. That game.
I do. I mean, the characters alone already, like they are definitely awesome looking. And as a cosplayer, I'm just like, yeah, I would love to cosplay one of the characters, but it's yeah, I still need to find time to play that game because it's long too. Like you have to play it multiple times, right? Something like that.
So how it works? It's yeah, you have to beat the game 4 times. But how it works, it's like each time you beat it, it doesn't really feel like you're going through the same story again. Just the
Mhm.
first 2 cycles you are like you're doing 2B and then you're doing 9S's stuff, and then
Yeah.
the third route is when like you finally leave that. Like all the questions are answered, everything's good to go. You start the C route, and then that's where the game really becomes like, oh man, that's a crier. That game,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
I heard it's an amazing game, and the score sounds amazing as well, like the music and stuff.
Oh my gosh, yeah,
Oh
it's
my goodness,
beautiful. It's beautiful. No,
I
you
I
have to
do need
play
to
it.
play that.
Yeah. What are you waiting for? No, I mean I get. Yeah, I mean you have PHAS going on, so that's
Yeah, and Monster Hunter just dropped their last update or like biggest update, so we've been doing stuff for that, and then they had their Halloween festival that's going on right now. So it just because every time I want to start a game, Monster Hunter has something that comes up, and I'm like, oh man.
Yeah, yeah, that's kind of what happens with me in my mobile game, Dokkan. Whenever we get updates, it kind of just puts anything else I want to do right back. I can't do anything else
Yeah,
besides till I get those 20 videos out.
especially when it's your like main game, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
your community's based off of it, and like you have so many hours into it. It's like, yeah, I gotta do this, man.
yeah. You do, you do. So, do you play Monster Hunter with any of your viewers?
Oh, all the time.
Oh,
Whenever
that's
I
fun.
stream it, my sessions are always open. I always like my community is so awesome. They love helping each other out. On our Discord, we do late night hunts. So like people will be in
Aw,
voice chat just hunting late at night. It gets crazy. We talk about the weirdest things on our on that Discord. I don't know.
yeah.
Like we talk about like it's called late night hunts for a reason. Like it's just we talk about everything. So crazy. But yeah, like they all help each other out when there's new hunters that come in. We always are like asking them, "Oh, do you need help with anything? Is there anything you need to farm? Is there a monster you're having trouble with?" Like and that's what I love. Like I always try to push the like incentive to like help people and just like help each other out, build a community, build friendships and stuff like that. So I always leave my sessions open. So if anyone plays Monster Hunter on PS4, more than
I might
welcome
have
to
to.
hunt.
Yeah, I might have to get it.
It's
That
such
sounds
a
like
good
fun.
game. I freaking love this game, and it doesn't take that long to get through story. It talk we were talking about Riku earlier. Actually, Riku, he ended up losing his save files because when he was transferring, yeah, when he was transferring his, I think he was switching PS4s or something, and it ended up not transferring the old files in there. So we ended up like helping him out, and we grinded him through everything, and it didn't take that long either. So
Oh, that's cool.
um,
Oh, I would imagine with your equipment. Yeah, I'm sure. That's cool
I
though.
mean, but honestly, the real game starts after the story. The story's okay. I think Iceborne's story got better, but yeah, well, after story, the real game starts because that's when you really start fighting like really tough monsters and stuff. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, a bunch of my friends have always really been Monster Hunter like heavy, 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 and they've always tried getting me into it. The only one I've ever played was the 3DS one.
Oh, wait, is
I
that
forgot which.
4?
It might have been four.
Uh,
It might have
I
been
think
four.
so. Monster Hunter World is my first Monster Hunter game. But I know of the Monster Hunter franchise because I have so many friends that are into it, and I'm thinking of playing the one on the Switch GU Generations Ultimate until the new Rise one comes out, and then I'll play Rise.
Yeah, so you're gonna be busy for a while. That's good. Content's always good.
Yeah, yeah.
So, okay, that's cool. So yeah, no, I definitely gotta check out Monster Hunter. And you mentioned the Discord. Do you guys ever have like those movie nights?
Yeah, so we do Fruit Fam movie nights on Fridays. Not every Friday, because sometimes the schedule is like all over the place.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, we do movie nights. I think last movie night we watched a Goofy movie, which is super funny. Um,
Aw.
yeah, that movie is super fun, and the music is awesome too. I don't remember. I know we want to watch a horror movie for Halloween, but I don't know if we decided which horror movie yet. So I don't know if we want to watch a bad one or a good one. We'll see.
Yeah, that's cool. So like, do you guys all just hang out like in the DC, or do you just?
Yeah, we just hang out in the Discord, and then I end up just like, putting it up on the Discord. We all just watch it.
That is so cool. Yeah, no, I've been seeing a lot more people doing that, and that's something I definitely want to try out one of these days. Because I think, okay, that's a good question to ask. So when you do, because YouTube's so much easier. Because YouTube, I don't do a script, but I always kind of have like an idea of it. How did you get so well at doing everything on the fly like that?
Like doing just like
Twitch, just talking to like your fans like then and there. Because for me, I have the luxury of being able to wait a while, right? Because people will
yeah.
comment throughout a couple of days or weeks,
I
and
think it's easier on Twitch just because I have those people like in chat. So I'm the kind of person who plays off like the energy of other people. So when my chat is going, it's easy for me to kind of like get going and talking about a bunch of different things. At first, when I started, when I didn't have any viewers, I had to learn to pretty much talk to an empty room. And that's kind of like one of the talents you have to learn when it comes to streaming and stuff. But yeah, once your community starts being getting built up, and you start having regulars who come in all the time, you start learning about each other, you start learning about each other's like lives, so it's easy to just like start a conversation. Like I could look at one of my regulars and be like, oh, how's your cat, or how's your dog, or how's your sister, like all that stuff. And then we just start talking about video games. We talk about all kinds of things too. We talk about food, talk about video games, movies, cosplay, all kinds of stuff. So it's easy for me to play off of other people. And
cool,
then
cool.
whenever I need to come up with something on the fly, I'm a very like candid person anyways, and I like making people laugh and stuff. So yeah,
No,
I
that's
just
good.
say
That's
whatever
good.
is in my head.
No, yeah, because I think you mentioned it the best thing that everybody gets nervous about is how do you talk to the empty room? And no, I mean, I think it's just practice ultimately from the sounds of it. You just have to try it every day, and you kind of just because my thing is like I see one, I get one guy popping on the Twitch stream is like, oh, it's like, what do I do? That's
Yeah,
what happens.
I think one of the things that helped me a lot is just being reactive to what's going on in the screen. So if you're playing a game, almost commentate it, if that makes any sense. Um, Try and be reactive to whatever is going on in the game or whatever you're doing, because that is a thing. Like someone will come in, and if you're just too quiet, they'll leave. Because they'll think, oh, this person's not very like talkative, or this person's not very entertaining. So yeah, you just have to continuously just like talk about stuff. And so with Monster Hunter, it's easy for me because I am a very like expressive player. So like if something happens, I'll start screaming, or I know the game very well, and I'll start like explaining what I'm doing, or something like that. So
Yeah, I think I should start. A good way for me to start that is probably do Phasmophobia, because I streamed it the other day with a couple of other YouTubers, and that one, I think I got hit up multiple times after that because I am a yeller.
oh,
I'll send you a clip
man.
later. I was losing my mind. But then like when I went to go stream Super Mario 64, I was like, uh it's like it's kind of hard.
Yeah,
It
it's
gets a
it's
little
kind of
tricky.
hard, especially if it's a game that's very like slow paced. Um, but yeah, you just have to like just commentate and just be informative and tell people like what's going on the screen, or you can even
Okay.
just like talk about your day too. Yeah.
And this podcast turned into life advice, Twitter advice,
It
Twitch
always,
advice.
oh my god, it's so funny because my stream, like sometimes they'll point out that I'm very like mom like,
I was
and
literally going to say that. I was
I don't
like,
know why. I just like, I don't know. I'm
it's
very
not a
mom
bad thing.
like.
It's a good thing. It's definitely a good thing. This is great, not advice, because anytime I ask anybody, they don't really give me like the most, like the greatest advice. It's more like, yeah, dude, just wing it. I'm like,
Just
well,
wing it. Just
where
do
do I
it.
wing it towards? I'm not trying to throw my,
Yeah,
I'm not
I
trying to.
like it, especially if it's something I'm super passionate about and I want people to get into it and like do it as well. I don't know. I like to be very informative. I like to help people out in any way that I can, or the best that I can. So
Yeah, that's how I feel like with my main game, but I can't. I feel like streaming my Dokkan would be pretty boring. To be honest, I'm just
I
pressing bubbles.
well,
That's what the whole
I don't
game
know.
is.
There might be like there's definitely a community for it and everything. So
Yeah, there is. There
I don't
is. We're definitely one of the bigger gotcha game markets, so that definitely helps. Maybe I could do that,
know.
but
Yeah.
I don't know. I've been having so much fun with PHAS. I think. Do you play it every day?
I don't. I play Monster Hunter most of the time.
Okay,
Phasmo, I've been doing like every Thursday, and I'll do, because it's Halloween. I'll cosplay every Thursday as well.
that's cool.
So I play Phasmo in cosplay, and then Fridays I do VTube because one of my friends made me a character,
No
a
way.
little avatar. Yeah, so I do VTube Fridays, and it's been super fun.
That is
Um,
so cool.
yeah, I've never like, and I didn't even know there was a community for VTubing until my friend told me about it, and I was like, "Oh my god, there's like people who watch this like anime character and stuff." And so my friend ended up making me an avatar, and so I've been just using that to do VTube, and it's been super fun. It's fun like seeing how like interactive it is, and it uses your webcam, and it picks up on your facial expressions and stuff. It's
That is
super funny.
so cool.
Yeah,
What the?
so I've been having fun with it. That's the thing too, like have fun with it, like especially streaming. If you're having fun, people can sense that, and people will also have fun too. A lot of people are very reactive to the vibe and to energy of other people. So if you're super happy and excited and having fun, like that will translate to everyone else that's watching.
Okay, very cool, cool. Well, that is now I feel like I need to stream tonight. That-
Do it.
yeah, I guess I have to. Sorry, YouTube. No, I mean, again, YouTube is just so easy.
Mhm.
But I get you. I hate like making thumbnails. Editing. I don't edit anything at all. I just everything's just straight away. That's how I've always been.
Mm.
But okay. So we talked about like a lot of horror stuff. So what are your top 5 horror movies?
Oh man. I don't horror movies is kind of an if for me. Like I'm more of like the older ones, like so like The Exorcist, obviously, is like
That one's
I think
amazing.
everyone's like favorite. Um I like some of the like The Ring and The Grudge, but I like the Japanese versions way better than the English versions. Um
Really?
yeah, I like the Japanese versions. They're just so much more scarier, I think. Yeah, when it comes to movies, I don't really have like favorites. When it comes to games, I definitely have some favorites
Okay,
when it comes
okay.
to horror games. Um
Do tell.
one of my favorite horror games was actually on the GameCube. It's called Eternal Darkness, and it was the first horror game to introduce the whole like sanity bar. And what's really cool about it is that if your sanity is really low in the game, it messes with the settings on your TV and stuff. So like it'll lower the volume, it'll like freak out the game, or it will pretend to like delete the game and stuff like that. It's so cool. Um, and then I love the Fatal Frame series. That's probably one of my favorite horror series.
Oh my god. Fatal Frame 2 is one of my all-time favorites. It
Oh,
is
that's awesome.
so scary.
Yeah,
It's
dude,
really good.
Fatal Frame, and I love like the Japanese lore, like the folklore and stuff. So it just makes it even just that much cooler. Yeah, the Fatal Frame series is awesome. Like the whole taking pictures of ghosts thing is so unique to that game, which is so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, no.
Um,
I hope they one day like remaster it for PS4 or PS5. That would be pretty lit.
oh my god, I would love that. Or like if they had one for the Switch where you actually have to like move it around and stuff,
Oh my gosh,
that
that
would
would
be
be so
so
cool.
cool. I'd be
that,
down.
that would be sick.
Um,
That would be sick.
and then the Fear series. Fear has always been a good series. I love Fear. Um, Fear 1 and 2. 3 was more like action, more FPS, but it was still really good. A Resident Evil series is probably my favorite. Silent Hill series, yeah. Those are
Oh,
all
cool,
those
cool.
I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
those
No, I'm a
horror.
huge Silent Hill fan. Silent Hill 2
Oh,
is my favorite one for sure. One of the saddest stories
nice.
in
Yeah,
video
that
game
is
history.
true.
I'm a
um
huge sap for sad stories, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, and especially in horror like horror video games, because if it's sad, like the play with the emotions and stuff, because you're sad 1 minute and then you're like terrified the next. Like I love when games can like do that. So yeah, I love horror
Yeah, yeah,
games.
me too, me too. Yeah, I'm trying to get back into horror games like that. I know that new Amnesia game just came out, but people aren't really saying it's
Yeah,
very
Rebirth.
scary. Yeah,
Yes, I heard mixed reviews about it. I heard it's not as scary. I heard it's more like story heavy.
which I don't know how
If
I
any.
feel about. I mean,
Mm,
I liked the first Amnesia because I was like terrified,
yeah,
but this one, like
and it had a
everybody's
good
like,
story too.
yeah, it did. It had both, and that's what I always enjoy about horror games. Like, do both, just don't do one.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I That's why I can't take like jump scare games, cuz they don't really have good story to them, and I get like after a while you get used to the jump scare and you're just like, okay, this is not scary no more. Like, you know?
So not a big fan of like the Five Nights of Freddy's.
Nah, no, Slender Man, all that stuff. Yeah, I
Yeah,
wasn't
me
really a
neither.
huge fan.
Yeah.
Like I played them, but I was just like, okay, this that's all that there is to it. I mean, I know Five Nights does have like lore to it, but it's like I'm not about to play like 5 installments of that game just to figure out the clues and stuff. I'll just watch a YouTube video of
Yeah,
it.
yeah, exactly. I am a YouTuber watcher, so I
Yeah,
completely
yeah.
get that. I don't like running around aimlessly. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So I mean, great game. So let me think. Did you play? Are you gonna play the new Pokemon DLC?
I haven't played a Pokemon game since Diamond and Pearl,
Oh
unfortunately.
my god! Why?
Man, I was such a huge Pokemon fan when I was a kid because I played, the older games and stuff. But the last one was Diamond and Pearl, and I just never got back into Pokemon. I think it's just like my taste in video games kind of changed. Like when I was younger, I was really into like Nintendo. My sister's like all Nintendo, but now I've kind of like progressed to like Monster Hunter
Yeah, you've
and
gone
like
to
just
the
other
correct
games in
side.
general. No, I mean I love Nintendo, like Animal Crossing. I bought the Switch just for Animal Crossing, but it's so sad because I don't even play Animal Crossing anymore. Um, yeah,
Oh.
I just yeah, I was really into it. Like I made my island all nice and everything, and I was like, okay, I'm done. Okay.
Yeah, once you do that, it's like okay, what do I do now? I don't know how people played for
Yeah.
so long. Like I'm not sure if you've ever seen that older lady who oh my god, she
Oh
is so I
yeah,
love
she plays like
her.
Animal Crossing
For the
and stuff like
DS.
that.
Yeah, and she's
Yeah.
been playing for like the last 10 years on the same one. I'm like, "Oh my god, that is so
I don't
cute."
know how you do that,
Me neither.
man.
I'm like, "How I can't do it." I think I
Yeah, but I
played
mean, it's like
oh,
I love Nintendo's games. Like I grew up with them. Smash Brothers was like a big part of my childhood because we went to school with a lot of like players. Like in high school, I went to the video game club and we met a lot of the players that play Super Smash Brothers and stuff. So, but yeah, I just haven't gone into the newer games when it comes to Nintendo. It's just like I think it's just because my taste in video games has changed.
yeah, yeah, no. If you're playing Monster Hunter, I completely understand. And I mean, Nintendo games are always kind of like a hit and miss too, you know. I mean,
Yeah,
besides like
some of them.
Smash, Mario Kart, I mean, what else do you really play? you know?
Yeah, and I mean, talking about Mario Kart, the best Mario Kart is Double Dash. That was the one that I played all the time was
Yeah,
Double Dash.
respect. Definitely agree with that one. Definitely agree.
I I will say the GameCube was probably my favorite console. Like growing up, was the GameCube. That
Same,
thing that
same.
had amazing games on it. It had really good games on it. Um, but yeah, other than that, I don't play that many Nintendo games, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, me neither. I mean, I don't really play a whole lot of much anymore. I think that's yeah. I think another thing too. It's like it kind of comes with age. You just
Yeah,
start getting
yeah.
used to playing like the same things over and over, and you're just kind of like, I don't
It's
really
almost
feel
like
like.
a copy and paste a little bit. Like that's what Pokemon felt to me. And then the Pokemon just got even crazier. Like they
Yeah,
they
they
started
are.
making like Pokemon like there's a running joke that I always say. I always say like the people who make Pokemon, they just put googly eyes on random stuff and if it looks cute, they turn it into a Pokemon.
Yeah, and
That's
that's
so
what they're
true.
literally doing. You know,
Yeah.
it's
I think they
crazy.
have like an ice cream Pokemon, a trash can Pokemon.
Yeah,
Just
they have like a pile of trash as well as one. Like it's I don't know. It's like at some point I've been like, man, you guys don't need to make anymore. Just
yeah, just
go back to the OG ones, or you know, I don't like my biggest dream right now is for them to just remake Diamond and Pearl. That is exactly what I
oh
want.
yeah,
That's my
Diamond Pro
favorite
was
gen.
good. Oh really?
Yeah,
Oh
yeah. I
nice.
don't think it's ever gotten better than that.
I can't wait for the new Pokemon Snap though. I'm
Oh,
going to play that
are
for
you gonna?
sure.
Is that gonna be a streaming game?
Heck yeah, we're gonna be
Go,
taking pictures of Pokemon. I freaking loved Pokemon Snap when I was a kid.
yeah, me too. Me too. That was always a blast. Definitely grew up with the N64. Had that. Had Pokemon Stadium.
I hope they bring back the whole like sticker thing too. Like remember you can go to like Blockbusters and like print out a sticker from your Pokemon Snap
Ah, I
thing.
don't know if we're gonna go that far.
Oh man, I'm okay. I'm already like almost 31, so
Yeah, we're talking about
I
Blockbuster.
we're talking about Blockbuster and when we used to have to make stickers at Blockbuster for Pokemon Snap.
I miss Blockbuster a lot. The Blockbuster
Yeah.
was my jam. Every Friday night, pizza and one of those rentals every day. I miss
Yeah.
that. When you were able to rent N64 games, it was crazy back then. It was such a
Yeah.
different time era.
It
These kids don't
was.
understand what they're missing.
Well, they have it easier now. They can just I don't know, like
That's true.
port it or like what you call it. There's a lot of like oh, what do they call those where you can play like old games? Emulators. There you go.
That's
A lot of
true. That's
emulators now
true.
online. So
Which I mean, it sucks though. I miss that old like. I mean, here I'm getting nostalgic. Yeah, I miss the '90s sometimes, or like the early 2000s. It was so much fun.
yeah,
Things were different.
me
Now
too.
everything's just so easy. Like if I want to play like Super Mario 64, I don't even have to buy the remake. I could just play on the emulator and put like 4K
Yeah.
graphics on it. It just I miss those days. Miss them for sure. But okay. So we are actually pretty much at the hour mark. So it's been
Oh
a
man.
absolute pleasure. Do you have? I typically always ask, like, do you have any closing statements?
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you want to play Monster Hunter sometime, definitely give me a follow on my Twitch at XOFruitcakeXX. can also find me on Twitter and Instagram. All of my cosplay stuff is usually on my Facebook and my Instagram. So if you're into cosplay, definitely check those out. But yeah, if you ever want to play video games or just hang out and chill, definitely hit me up on those.
Awesome, guys, and I will be dropping links to all her socials, so make sure to check out all her stuff. You live stream pretty much every day, right, for the most part? Or
My schedule is Tuesday through Friday at 6 p.m. PST, so you can catch me any of those days.
awesome, awesome. Well, thank you for taking the time out of your day to come on and hang out and talk. It's been a pleasure. I'll
Yes,
definitely be hitting you up for some gaming for sure.
yes, let's do it. Let's do it.
And guys, thank you so much for all the support on the channel. Make sure to check out Fruitcake's, her socials. Check out the live streams. Bombard her with loving messages for coming on the podcast. And you have a great rest of your day, Fruitcake. And you guys take care. We'll see you guys in the next one.